Ghost Stories. Do all sorts of ghostly things. Talk local legends. And some ghost hunting. Stories we hope to live to tell. And you live to listen. Huz Ghost Stories. Huz Ghost Stories. We talk Tinker's Hollow to the beast of Delaware Road. Stories we hope to live to tell. Get it right. Surprise! What the hell's the matter with you?
Welcome, folks, to a very special episode of Huz Ghost Stories. I am your host, Andrew Huzar of Huzar Reiki and Readings. This is Alex. He is a college educator. And across the pond is the young man Tyler, whose life will forever be changed after today.
Uh-oh.
I don't like the way that you didn't really give us a big opening. What's going on?
Well, Tyler becomes a man today, Alex,
Oh,
because he gets to experience his first surprise episode.
Oh, boy.
I've been through 2 of these already.
I'm holding on to my seat.
Oh, you're going to need to hold on to a lot more than that, buddy. If you don't have a belt, you better put a belt on and suspenders where we're going, pal.
Can I give him an
Wearing
idea of
stuff.
what the surprise episodes have been so far?
Tell them what to expect.
In our previous, we've had 2 surprise episodes. The first
Oh,
one,
long time listener.
yeah, the first time was when we got the surprise of Lincoln Park Golf Course.
Yeah.
Where we saw that people legitimately were playing golf around headstones. And then the second one, we went international and we got
Italian
sex mummies, which is a phrase that still doesn't sound right ever to say. So, if that's the 2 kind of what you set up before, what is today's surprise?
Fun follow-up fact, though, on Italian sex mummies. It is still a thing. They are still snorting mumia.
Oh, God.
Now, is what you're probably thinking, though, mummies are kind of in short supply now, right? Now, this has nothing to do with today's episode. I just found this fascinating because it popped up in my news today.
Popped up in your news today?
When you look up absurd ghost stories enough, you start getting hits on certain things. And
The album changes.
there's a tribe in... Oh, God, I can't remember where it is. But what they do is they drag their dead bodies out to the desert, and they wrap them in a tarp, and they let the sun dry them
Yes.
like a tomato.
Yes, I actually knew about that one.
And then they come out and they grind them up. Fresh source of mamiya. And then you get the superpowers of a sex mummy.
Interesting.
So, but yeah. Reiki Master Medium, Professor, Cryptid Expert, Paranormal Enthusiast, everyday normal guy. About to get put through it here for a very fun one that I actually was going to do before the sex mummies. And then I was like, you know what? I just don't think this is the right crowd for this story. You know, Alex and Sean, I didn't think they were the right people for it. Like, it was just,
Uh-oh.
they were too strict. They were too, they were too hardline. They couldn't bring their walls down. They couldn't open their minds up. And like, they were afraid to talk about the hard topics, you know. Trigger warning topics for them was very, dance around everything. I needed somebody hardcore and an actual human being to get in there with. So Tyler, now that you're here, I can break it down,
Glad I could fit the bill.
Yeah, and, Alex has grown a lot in this past year, so I think he's ready for this story and this legend, As in previous episodes, I won't really list our sponsors in case they don't want to be part of this one, but go check out our friends at Erie All Star Wrestling at the very least. And this is going to be a ride. This is one I'm very excited for. Tyler, what are you anticipating today?
I have no idea.
It's fair.
As for Alex, what are you thinking?
Some kind of terrible messing with the dead. So far, both of them have been not
that's pretty-
properly dealing with the dead.
It's pretty on trend for these surprise episodes.
Tyler, what are you hoping today's episode covers? Like, if it had to have a singular event to occur in the story, what are you hoping for?
Well, I guess haunting's a little too broad of a swipe to paint there.
I'll accept it if you can't think of anything else.
Something exciting. I don't know. I don't. My mind is a blank page right now.
This is exciting.
Stop burying the lead.
So, I think with that, we can go ahead and get started. This is a strange tale, and definitely a trigger warning here, as we cover topics such as molestation and sexual assault. Now, Alex and I aren't new to this kind of topic. We're looking at you, Grove City College.
Oh, God.
But this legend takes an interesting turn a few times. We're going to travel across the world to Zanzibar. Now, if you happen to ever find yourself in Zanzibar, Tyler,
Zanzibar?
Zanzibar, you'll be in a very lush, environment. There's islands, there's ocean, there's beaches. Like, you're not going to be upset, but you'll find out that the locals are definitely keeping something from you. And you're going to be finding out that they are actually incredibly terrified of one specific thing.
Dolphins.
An entity. This being.
What?
Now, we're...
Oh, it looks nice over here.
Zanzibar. Idyllic place. Now, some people say that this entity is a demon. Some say it's a jinn or a genie. Others say it's an actual cryptid creature. Regardless of what they think it is, they all fear it immensely, to the point where just speaking its name is enough to cause mass hysteria. Today, I'm talking about Popobawa. Now,
Okay.
Popobawa translates roughly to demon bat.
It's another Portland thing.
Portland, Zanzibar, maybe. So, this is a fairly recent...
We'll go drink a water real quick.
You're going to need a drink of something.
There are images of Popobawa.
Possibly. Might not be the kinds of images you're thinking of.
And back.
Hey.
What?
So, as I was saying, the Popobawa is described as a shape-shifting creature, usually assuming the form of a giant bat-like demon. Now, this is a fairly recent creature, first creeping up in the 70s, 1970s, that is. The first origin story of the Popobawa is that It was a jinn that was released by an angry sheik to wreak havoc on his neighbors that he didn't like and didn't trust. However, as the Popobawa became more and more powerful and more chaotic, the sheik could no longer control him. And so he fled and he just started attacking every community and every villager and everybody all around. Now, there are some other origin theories that we will get to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the thing with the Popobawa. You know, a lot of demons, it's said that like when a demon presence is near, you can smell sulfur
Mm-hmm.
and see smoke. And similar things are with the Popobawa. If the Popobawa is kind enough to give you a warning of its presence, you will smell sulfur and see random puffs of smoke. Most of the time, it does not give you such pleasantries and warnings. And I think it's time I tell you guys.
Hit you with one of those.
I think it's time I tell you guys why this Popobawa is so feared. You're probably thinking that it's, this vicious demon. It's possessing people. It's killing people, which it has possessed somebody. It possessed a little girl back in the day, and they had to do an exorcism on her. However, that's not what the Popobawa does. You see, if the Popobawa targets you, the Popobawa is going to come into your house at night, and it is going to sodomize you.
Jesus.
Now, we're not saying, sexual assault and things are funny, but this is getting ridiculous, and it's only going to escalate because, this is a demon bat that, it's not trying to kill people or constantly possess people. It's literally the only thing it does is it comes and has sex with you. And it targets mostly men.
Yeah. What?
So we got a gay bat cryptid.
It's, now, with the Popobawa, there's some interesting rules one must follow. So, the Popobawa
Don't say no.
will only force itself on you if you are caught sleeping in your bed. So, now, there have been multiple mass hysteria outbreaks because of the Popobawa coming into a community, having sex with everybody, and, forcing itself on everyone. And what happens is people, when this starts happening, they will stop sleeping in their homes and in their beds. They will just sleep on the road. They will sleep in their vegetable carts. They just will sleep anywhere because when Popobawa targets you, if you are not in a bed, it will not have sex with you.
They're terrified.
And the other rule is that you'll continue to be the Popobawa's target unless you do something. Tyler, what do you think it is that you have to do to get the Popobawa to go after someone else?
Contract an STD.
All right. Let me tell you what you got to do. Now, this is one of the wildest things I have ever heard a spirit, a ghost, a demon, a creature, a entity ever requiring of someone. After the Popobawa has sex with you, you have to go tell the village that you were fucked by the Popobawa, or else it will come back the next night.
And every night until you admit your... Oh, God.
So, now, as I said, mass hysteria has broken out around Zanzibar and the islands because of this thing. So put yourself there that someone gets visited by the Popobawa and has that intense night. And then they come out the next morning and tell everybody what the Popobawa did to them. And now people, they're not sleeping in their beds. And then one by one, each night, more people are coming out and being like, yeah, the Popobawa got me last night. Across the entire country, this happens. The Popobawa just moves through communities, bam, 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 having sex with everyone there, and then just, whoop, next community.
What on earth? Okay. You forgot to mention it's a one-eyed bat.
Well, it's a shape-shifting bat. So most of the time it has one eye, sometimes has two eyes.
Well, yeah, usually it has two eyes. One eye on his head and one eye on his head.
Walked into that one.
Yeah.
So, now, the Popobawa, you'll be happy to know, is not a constant threat. You know, you don't have to sleep in your pile of potatoes every night. You know, there's
Oh God.
it really only comes around one time, and it only comes around during political election cycles. When
So it has political interest?
no, here's the thing: it is apolitical because members of all the parties get raped by it. But it only comes around during the election cycles.
Still after election cycles in Zanzibar.
So, the Popobawa. It's election season. Popobawa comes to town,
Mm-hmm.
has sex with you. You have to tell everybody in town that it had sex with you, or else it's going to keep having sex with you. Now, you tell the people, and all of a sudden, people can't sleep in their beds because the second they do, Popobawa's coming for them.
So you think there's just like some good Samaritan who cares about the community who's getting railed out until election night?
I thought about that, but apparently it is such a painful ordeal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's rape. Doesn't sound great.
And it's by a giant bat demon, so I mean, there's no. We're hacking down there.
Doesn't sound consensual.
Have you seen a bat penis? I haven't.
No, and I probably don't want to. So I said there's a few other origin stories as to what people think the Popobawa is. The first one is they think it's the vengeful spirit of a deceased former president.
Who
And
took the
that's
shape
why
of a vampire?
Kind of not what I was expecting.
the other one is that it was actually a jinn that wasn't released by a sheik, but by a political party, and the political party actually lost control of it. And so that's why it only comes around during political seasons, but it attacks everybody now.
Makes sense.
Now, Tyler, I've brought up multiple times, this has caused like mass hysteria and national panics across the entire country. If I were to tell you that there was a national panic, and this is for both you guys, you can answer. If I told you that, they freaked out about this demon bat in 1985, would you guys believe that?
No.
Yeah.
All right. So we got one yeah, one no. What about 1995?
Still no. Like 1895? Sure.
No, 1895. Yeah, makes sense. If I was to say 1999, what are you thinking?
I'm already on board.
You're there. It's happened.
Yeah.
So, the last super bad Popobawa spree was in 2007. Now, it's still occurring to this day, but 2007 was the worst spree people consider.
Wow.
And it ravaged everybody in its wake. So, when the Popobawa strikes, mass hysteria breaks out because people know what's happening. What do you think of the Popobawa, Alex?
Terrifying. That is the only word I can come up with. The Popobawa is a sex bat.
Yes, it is.
I don't know. Something about it terrifies me.
It should.
It should. It's a good point. So, Tyler, what are your initial thoughts on the Popobawa?
Penis bat.
I don't. I'm speechless. I don't. It feels fake. It doesn't seem like it's. It sounds like this was made up by a neighboring country of Zanzibar. And it was like, look at those fucking weirdos. They got a bat that sodomizes people when it's election season. It's more like election season. But that.
So, during Popobawa season, hospitals get inundated with, injuries like broken ribs, bruises, sexual injuries.
What is this bat doing to them?
All attributed to the Popobawa. In fact, there was one case where a man said he was possessed by the Popobawa, and the other townsfolk just hacked him to death, just chopped him up.
Damn.
They hoped it would kill Popobawa, and that night somebody else was sodomized.
So he did what he had to do, and it still wasn't enough.
Yep.
Jesus.
So one account from 95 was from a farmer, and he said, "I could feel it. Something pressing on me.
Sounds like it, yeah.
I couldn't imagine what sort of thing was happening to me. You feel as if you're screaming with no voice. It was just like a dream. But then I was thinking, it was Popobawa, and he came to do something terrible to me. Something sexual." Now, this farmer did not believe in Popobawa until this happened. "I don't believe in spirits, so maybe that's why it attacked me. Maybe it'll attack anybody that doesn't believe." And that's actually become part of the legend, where the Popobawa hates being denied its existence. So if you don't believe in the Popobawa, or you say it's not real, it's going to come for you 10 times worse than it would someone else.
Yeah, that's weird.
So they state when it happens that it's like sleep paralysis, the way the Popobawa does its business. So, Alex, I'm gonna throw it over to you. Whether you think the Popobawa is real or fake, I don't know if that really matters here, but the fact it causes mass hysteria across all of the area, what do you think's happening, or what are your thoughts on that?
That is 100% cultural identity.
Yeah.
The Popobawa is a cultural symbol, and it's one of those you're raised hearing the story, so you know about it. So when there starts to be an increase in sightings, experiences, I don't know what I want to call it, encounters with the Popobawa, when encounters happen, it seems like people start panicking and worrying, which leads to what I wonder is how many are self-inflicted unintentional harm, like people sleeping in places they shouldn't be sleeping because it's not their bed, and so they do damage to themselves, things like that. Yeah, I don't know what to think. All I know is I went down the rabbit hole of bat penises. There's a lot.
As what next?
There's a lot of research on it. Apparently, bat penises have bones in them. Fun fact for you there. But Africa as a continent, specifically southern Africa, where Zimbabwe is kind of more towards the, or Zanzibar, not Zimbabwe. Zanzibar is in the lower area. Has several, like, dozens of bat species that haven't really been documented or investigated, which means this is more terrifying because this could be 100% real creature we just have not actually like identified, and it's just completely telling stories about it when it is a real bat that might just sexually assault people. So
Wouldn't that be a plot twist? Turns out it's not a creature at all. Or a cryptid at all.
it's
It's
just
actually
a
a
bat.
creature.
It's just a bat that likes to have sex.
So,
Oh,
for either one of you that wants to take this one first, why do you think Popobawa targets men for the worst of its things? Like, so when it targets women, it doesn't assault them. It basically just kind of slaps them around, hurts them. But the men,
well, if you want to get into like the whole political side of it, I mean, male leaders are pretty dominant throughout history.
Yes, and we also have an issue in general. There's a famous clip of I don't remember which African country, but when Obama was president, there was a local church leader who said, "We don't want what America's bringing because they're bringing gay, and gay is bad." And the famous "they eat the poo poo" out of the anus, which is hilarious because that's not what gay people do. Um, that's a whole other kink, and anyone, whether straight or gay or anything else, can eat poop if they want. But the point is, there's a very anti-gay kind of push in that area of the world. So, what better way to say your political opponent is weak than saying they got fucked by the Papa Bao? Just thinking, like, knowing that there's a strong anti-gay notion. It's my thoughts.
so why do you think that, like, they say it's required that you have to tell everyone what happened or else?
Because it shows that you are gay. You're telling people, I have had another man's penis in my butt. I have been sodomized. I am no longer straight.
Power complex.
Yeah.
So, do you, and this could be for either of you again, do you guys think the legend of Papa Bawa being released as a weapon is more accurate, or do you believe that more, or do you think it's really just an entity that was already living down there and it's just become more known now for its attacks?
I think it's an entity that was alive and truly hates political division.
Because it is interesting that it's always active during a political cycle and not any time. Like, not,
Yeah,
every full moon, not when the tides are low. Like, it's always
yeah.
elections coming up, here comes Papa Bawa.
That's so weird.
It's very weird. That's why I picked this, because I knew you could gravitate towards, like, this is your kind of story right here. You You are a Popobawa fan. I can tell.
Yeah. Put the Papa in Popobawa.
Oh God.
I'm gonna make that a shirt.
Papa back and Papa.
So, Tyler, if you were visited by Popobawa, are you going out and are you going out and telling everybody what happened, or are you trying to just hold it and be like, nope, it's not going to happen again?
No, if the one thing that's going to get this monkey off my back, it's definitely going to be, going down to the city square with a fucking megaphone, saying I've been loved by the Popobawa. One and done.
I probably agree on that one. There's probably going to be embarrassing and shameful, but at least like you can go back to sleeping in your.
Right, and then afterwards, just be like, listen, it wasn't consensual, I swear.
Somewhere, and then it's moving on to its next victims.
Yeah.
Which it kind of gave me feelings from It Follows,
Mm-hmm.
as you tell people it attaches them, and now Popobawa is coming for them, and everything else. How about you? You get visited by Popobawa. Are you coming out and telling everyone, or are you keeping your shameful secret and?
This is not a good question to ask me. There's a lot of factors to consider here. I'm not straight, so I swing both ways. So I'm not immediately like, oh God, it's going to my butt. No way. I'm like, all right, well, whatever. Nothing new. I'm concerned with the assault part of it. If I'm getting hurt as well, really beat up, I'm not into that, so I'm probably telling. But if it's a tender embrace and it's just some weird,
It doesn't sound like it doesn't. I mean, if people are going to the hospital, it doesn't give off tender love and care there.
I don't know. It would come down to the aftercare.
Sounds less like Brokeback Mountain, and it sounds more like Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah, or Deliverance.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, if it's Brokeback Mountain, I'm all on board and I'll keep the secret. But if it's Hacksaw Ridge or Deliverance or any other number of those, I'm saying, yeah, I'm telling people.
So Tyler kind of brought up an interesting point. Could somebody just keep trying to take it and take it and take it? How long do you think Popobawa would hang around for? Without being acknowledged? Do you think he would just stay the entire election cycle? Or do you think, now you've got him permanently,
He's coming back on your birthday.
Yeah.
It's a late night booty call.
Popobawa. Just a knock on the door. All right, man, he makes this.
Okay, Popobawa. Has one of those onesie under big pajamas with the butt flap.
Oh.
Unflaps the butt flap.
So, here's one thought I had. It's never been brought up, so can't say it's a real theory. But this sounds like the perfect villain monster to unleash from somebody who was sexually assaulted.
Yeah. Everyone's gonna feel it.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
If you were a woman that was taken advantage of, this is the thing that you want.
You
to
want
happen.
men to feel the way you felt. You're gonna release Popobawa on them.
New question for you, Tyler.
New answer.
Would you ever release Popobawa as a weapon on somebody or somewhere?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm putting a caveat on mine. I would too, if it's not going to come back on me.
Well, no one wants die by their own gun, right?
But usually that's what happens in horror stories.
Yeah, I would probably use it as a weapon too. There's
That's good.
people out there who deserve it.
Yeah. Someone side scrapes my car. Popobawa, find their weapon.
Wow.
Is that a new scuff? Popobawa, find him.
Find their license plate. Sick 'em, boy.
Oh. He's not looking for major crime or murderers or psychopaths or anything. Hey,
Petty issues.
Popobawa.
Minor inconveniences.
Popobawa might prefer that though, because you would always keep him
Around.
fed. And there would always be somebody in the crosshairs.
Yeah, exactly.
Popobawa in the prison system.
So
Yeah.
it would probably have to be edited in some form, but what an incredible video game that would be.
Play as Popobawa or to fight it?
To be the person that unleashes Popobawa. What an RPG that would be. You're
GTA.
Yeah, exactly. You have the choice of dealing with this problem rationally, morally as a human being, or just unleashing this sex bat.
Aye.
We need to call Whitethorn Games.
What an episode. Holy crap.
Yeah, your first surprise episode was a demon sex bat who likes to sodomize men during political seasons. We cannot forget that part. It does not happen all the time. Popobawa has standards.
Yeah.
Standards.
Just standards. I know, it's such a weird, interesting, scary cultural phenomenon that there's when it starts happening, the entire country starts freaking out.
That's so weird. Especially 2007.
So 95 was another bad one, but I think 2007, like I said, was the last really bad outbreak of Popobawa encounters. People have tried to make offerings to keep him at bay, but it doesn't work. He comes back
with a more vengeful Popobawa.
What are you looking at?
Don't worry about it.
He worries me.
One of my all-time favorite gifts of all times.
Well, that's good. At least it can't be Popobawa related. At least.
What do you think?
Tyler, first
Yep.
surprise episode. So I'll toss it up to you first.
Okay.
What do you think of the Popobawa here?
Fake. Can't be real. That's for modern recorded history, I don't. Unless he is, I don't know.
So, in your mind, these people, something's happening and they're just freaking out and everyone starts freaking out.
Yeah.
Okay. Alex, what about you?
When Popobawa pulls out.
Oh, what?
It's my favorite gif immediately as we're talking about it. The first thing I thought of was the classic "When my werewolf boyfriend pulls out" meme, which is it's a pineapple getting crushed by a hydraulic press, and the juice spurts out of the back end.
Tyler is disgusted.
It's one of the funniest. It's one of the funniest gifs and memes I've ever seen, and
he is utterly just disgusted.
One of my favorites. Hilarious.
Anytime he hears the word surprise, he's gonna be like Pavlov's dog and just throw it.
Oh God. No, this is such a crazy. Honestly, This is my third surprise episode, and I continue to be completely surprised.
Doing my job.
I don't know what to expect ever.
No actual shock factor.
As far as the legend of Popobawa, I don't know. As we've said before, there's a little bit of truth in all of it. So I'm intrigued to know maybe the original case of Popobawa was actually a vigilante Batman that was going around and sodomizing political figures, but used a bat to like scare people, make them think that it's a bat attacking them. It was actually a dude like in a bat mask. Like, I don't know. All I know is that there's the fact that there's mass hysteria. It's not surprising. We've had the satanic panic here in the United States. We've had a lot of different paranoia, so I'm not surprised by it. It is a cultural thing, so I don't know.
I don't know. I like to believe, all things are real because it makes the world a more interesting place when things happen.
Believe in
But-
the possible.
I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm never going to say Popobawa doesn't exist because he hates that. So
Yes.
anything that keeps me on the good side.
Man.
Yeah,
I was after I said that, I was like, oh no, I'm a denier.
yeah,
just-
today's going to be a rough night for you. It's going to be a rough night.
No political season yet.
Don't sleep in your bed.
No, that's right. The political year is next year. So you better by next year you better be like Popobawa's real.
Pop about, I believe.
And if not,
Popobawa, I believe.
if not, you need to not sleep in your bed.
Yeah, you got to start sleep. You
Stay
got to
down
start sleeping on floors and
Which, you know
Well,
what?
it's a paper card, so
If it doesn't attack you, if you're not sleeping in your bed, if you spend more than a couple nights in a different spot, like the same
because that's your new bed.
you know what? That might be a loophole Popobawa uses to get you.
If you sleep in the same spot more than once, it's now your bed, and so he can get you.
Because how else are these people getting got if they're not sleeping in their beds?
That's what I was wondering.
So every night you have to shift and move. Like
You have to.
can
You
be a
can't
You
bad.
sleep
on
in
the floor.
You can't sleep on the same spot of the floor. You can't sleep on the same carpet. You can't sleep in the same potato. Like, you have to move around.
Because Popobawa has rules, so he's going to have loopholes.
Yeah.
Well, of
If
course,
they're good at the loophole rule.
Which I think that's like probably the most fascinating theory is that it was a Jinn that was used to terrorize people, and like it just got too powerful, and like it's almost like stuck in that form, like it was wished to be in, and it's just like, well,
Make best of my situation.
Popobawa now. And I think it would be likely that a Jinn would be in that area.
Yeah. That's from that area of the world, so it makes sense.
This guy unleashes a Popobawa, which is actually just a Jinn in this crazy bat-like form.
With two eyes. One on the top of its head, one on the bottom of its head.
I love it. I was so happy to finally do this episode. You know what? From the non-believer who's going to have a rough political year next year.
That's what I believe.
I believe.
I believe. Tyler, what are your final thoughts on your first surprise episode on the Popobawa, on anything that's happened here?
Wild. Absolutely wild.
I'm glad. I take pride in these, and I'm pretty sure I'm on a few government lists from looking up these types of stories. But
Italian sex mummy.
I mean, Alex is looking up bat wieners, so better your algorithm than mine.
I was gonna say, don't trust me. I know I'm on some lists.
I'm gonna get some weird Amazon recommendations later. Alex, what are your final thoughts here on the surprise episode in Popobawa?
Never cease to surprise me. Looking forward to the next surprise episode.
I don't know if I am just yet.
I mean, to be fair, it just started with dead bodies being disrespected, with sex, and now it's just sex. So, I mean, in the cycle, it might come back around to people having sex till they die.
Let's give away what we're gonna do.
Or maybe we just go back to the dead bodies, There's a lot of choices there.
I mean, It's a big spectrum. Dead bodies, molestation. It's a
It's
big
weird that
window.
they're on the same spectrum.
It's a big window.
If I read a story and my first thing is what the fuck, like it's a good surprise story.
That's fair. That is fair.
So, to everyone from Zanzibar, I wish you luck in your next election season. Maybe just start wearing Popobawa t-shirts that say "I believe," or you can buy our t-shirt that says "I put the Papa back in Popobawa."
Right.
Wear butt plugs. It solves the problem.
Oh my god. Well, Alex just told you what to add to your shopping cart, Zanzibar. But I think that does it for this surprise episode. That was fun. I got to have fun with these guys in Popobawa. So make sure you like and subscribe. Share us around. If you really know somebody who really hates paranormal podcasts, this is the one to share with them. The surprise episodes. We will give them an experience. Not the Popobawa experience, or the Italian sex mummy experience, or the San Francisco golf course experience, but we'll give them a ride.
Pick better words on that one. We'll give them a ride.
From all of us here at Huz Ghost Stories, make sure you believe in the Popobawa and stay in the light.